What is going on, my friends? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com. Jim Dunaway with the JOX Roundtable. We are here hanging out at the Caliber store in Homewood, Alabama. You can come in here and check them out for all your hunting and fishing needs. And it is week 12 of the college football season.
Yeah, right before rivalry weekend, and you end up with the Citadel coming to Bryant-Denny Stadium. No point spread because it's an FCS opponent. But some friends of mine say it's 48 to 51 points. Alabama's a heavy favorite. The question now is, how much does Tua play? How much does the starters play? Nick Saban hates that kind of talk because he doesn't assume a win ever. But that is real talk going into a game before you play Auburn and then Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yeah, in his press conference on Monday, he made sure everybody knew that they weren't going to be resting guys. This wasn't the time to sit down and rest. He thought that was media talk for us. All right, we're going 3 and out. First down, Jimmy D, we are going with favorite games so far through 12 weeks of the college football season.
For me, there's no doubt it was Alabama and LSU because of the atmosphere, the build-up, and the performance that Alabama gave you. I thought that was a tremendous outing for Alabama and really showcased a lot of things you had not seen through the first part of the season. Physical offensive line play and then a shutdown defense that people were wondering how good this defense could be. They showed that in Baton Rouge.
Okay, I'm going to go a little off the rails on this one. I'm going week 5 of the college football season, Alabama, Louisiana, Lafayette. I know you like the way I say that because that is the game that let us know that Jalen Hurts was bought in. That was week 5. He burns up his red shirt. He's here to stay. Yeah, he's been dinged up. He's dealing with that ankle injury, but they need Jalen Hurts. They need him. Tua's been banged up as well, and I think that just showed you what kind of guy Jalen Hurts is on and off the football field, so it was impressive to me.
All right, for second down, give me a surprise star through the big chunk, 10 weeks of the season.
I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. I think Damian Harris as the big downhill running back gets a lot of praise. Of course, he's been kind of maintaining a shelf life this season. We haven't seen him as much, haven't needed to, but Josh Jacobs has really emerged these last couple of games. He didn't actually get his first start into the Tennessee game this season, but he's a guy that's versatile, and Nick Saban used this terminology for him. He's a demon. He's very versatile. He can block. He can throw elbows, he can receive, he can run. He does all those things, and I think it'll pay dividends for Alabama.
You know, I think Quinnen Williams is going to be an answer in our comments from a lot of people because he did surprise when he came onto the scene, but he's not a surprise anymore. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. You know, Raekwon Davis was expected to be good. I'm going to go to Ross Pierschbacher, the center.
Yeah.
That guy has kept this offensive line mowing down people, and I think centers get to be underappreciated until you don't have one. And when you don't have one, then it really sort of, throws up exclamation points on how erratic offensive play can be. Alabama's got a steady one there, gets him in the right place, makes the right calls. He's an underappreciated, surprising star this year.
I like that one. Okay, and on third down, we're going to go unsung hero for the Iron Bowl, or maybe unsung unit. Who really needs to perform well to get things going in that Iron Bowl game against a tough Auburn opponent?
This is going to surprise you. I'm going to go Joseph Bulova, the kicker who nailed a 49-yard in-the-wind kick against Mississippi State. Big games for Alabama, even Iron Bowls for Alabama have been just haunted by bad kicks. I don't know if Alabama's going to need a big field goal, maybe early on to keep momentum building for Auburn or maybe to set the tone on a drive or something. But I think Joseph Bulova, as a redshirt freshman, has built in to as consistent of a kicker as Alabama's had for a few years. So I'm going to say Bulova could be a surprising star in the Iron Bowl.
You know, when I think of Joseph Bulova, I think of that watch, the Bulova watch, you know? I wonder if there's any relation there.
Always
I don't know.
on time.
All right, Jim, I'm going to go with the offensive line on this one. I think the offensive line needs to play really well at the line of scrimmage. They really need to protect the quarterback. I think that's where they kind of got exposed this past weekend against Mississippi State. Tua got a lot more pressure on him than we've seen all season long. So that's kind of an area, and I think that if they can really control the line of scrimmage and get some pressure up front, open up those gaps, they should have some success against the Auburn defense that's one of the best in the league.
All right, I like that one a lot. Now let's move from 3 downs to our do-over segment. We'll call it Mulligan Time.
Yeah, if there were mulligans in football, my mulligan would be recruiting a kicker. I know you talked about Joseph Bulova, but they've missed 6 extra points all season long. 6 extra points, and I know 6 points may not seem like a lot to Alabama, but that is going to be critical down the stretch, as you talked about in some of these bigger games as they get into the SEC championship and the postseason.
For me, it would be whatever play Tua Tagovailoa initially hurt that knee. It has become such a big storyline, and he keeps, playing through it and performing. And Alabama's played its 2 toughest games, and they've, won them by 29 and 24 points. So they're not even close because of his gutsy effort. But again, I feel like we're being robbed of the greatest football season in Alabama history of not seeing this guy 100%. If I could go back and change one play, it would be whatever play that was he got hurt on.
It's a good one. All right, we're going big person on campus.
Big person on campus. I like
Whoop,
this.
whoop.
So big person on campus with the Citadel coming. Who is it?
It is going to be George Edmondson Jr.
Who's that?
Mr. Two Bits, for those of you who don't know, from Florida, Mr. Two Bits. And what's crazy about this, he was like their epic cheerleader for so many years. Started back in 1949. He retired in 2008. You got it down, yep.
That's the way he used to do it.
And he's a retired insurance salesman. Imagine that. Can you imagine being like the biggest cheerleader in football history of Florida and you're a retired salesman?
Yeah, in good hands with the Two Bits guy.
That's right.
I like
in good
that.
hands. I love it.
Let's make our picks this week.
Jimmy D, you get to be the honorary captain. You're picking first.
All right.
Go for it.
Thank you. I'm going to take Alabama over the Citadel. There's no guessing game there. The Crimson Tide's a better football team. The question becomes how much does the starters play in this one? I'm going to say 42-7. Alabama wins this one easy. It's going to be a lot like the Arkansas State game, the Lafayette game, early points, and then you just rest everyone and try to run the clock out and get out healthy from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Citadel with a good running quarterback and running back combination. They beat Samford. I think they get one score at the end, 42-7 Alabama.
Okay, in case you didn't know, Alabama is the only team in the FBS that hasn't allowed a point in the month of November. I think that trend continues. I got Alabama winning and shutting them out 42-0.
All right, sounds like our microwave's ready, so we'll see you next week right here on our head-to-head.
What's for lunch?
This video was brought to you by Caliber, a luxury store in Homewood, Alabama that's reviving the finer things in hunting and fishing.